Welcome Pilates friends. Today we have got a nice little mat workout. Grab a ball if you like. A yoga block would work or a rolled up towel. It's not mandatory, but it is nice to have. So I want you to have something nearby, maybe a blanket for your knees or your side hips whenever we get ready to place any pressure in those areas if we're seated or on the knees. So let's get started. Let's go ahead. Turn on your mat, and as you take the ball or block, whatever you might have, let's squeeze that between the inner thighs. Sitting up nice and tall, go ahead and lift up through the chest, but then find the rib cage and pull back down through the ribs just a little, meaning that we're not going to overarch in the back and try to pull those chests all the way up and compromise the diaphragm here. So I want to make sure that we're keeping everything kind of nice and neutral through the center, like you have a cylinder right around your waist, and you're not going to break that cylinder. So we'll take a deep breath in, inhaling to all sides, front, back, side, and side, both sides. So deep breath, exhale it out, and squeeze that ball. Take another breath here, inhale. And once again, making sure that not just your chest is rising. Exhale out, blow all the breath out. And take one more big cleansing breath. You've got that little anchor here, squeezing with the inner thighs. Well, inhale, lift up a little taller. Exhale, start to rock it back. And again, inhale, lifting up. So use that same breath, exhale out, keep the cylinder here so there's no break at the cylinder. Okay, inhale. Exhale, come up. You're welcome to keep your hands placed right beside your thighs or holding on slightly behind the legs. Just make sure you're not using your arms for all the movement and that you're really engaging deeply. 2 more times. Inhale, rocking back. Exhale, coming up. And 1 more time. Inhale, anchor by squeezing the inner thighs. Exhale, come up. Scoot the hips up just a bit. And we'll roll it all the way back. So from all the way back, we're going to reach the arms overhead. Notice if your ribs kind of pop up again, you feel a little lightness behind the middle of your back. And pull the rib cage down. So that should already start to find a big connection between your ribs and your hips, finding that cylinder action again through the middle of your waist. And then inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, start to rise up, adding a little crunch or curl here. Inhale, come back. Sweep overhead. Don't lose the action of your core. Exhale, come up. Squeeze the ball just a bit or the inner thighs toward each other. Inhale, exhale. Good. Try to keep your feet fairly heavy here. Inhale, exhale, come up. 3 more, slow and controlled. Watching, making sure that you don't break here at the waist or at the ribs whenever you reach over your head again. Keeping those pulled down. 2. And as you come up, I want you to think about everything pulling towards center. So towards center and then pulling down rather than trying to push out. Try not to bear down here. And 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Rolling back down and rest your arms just beside you. Take a deep breath in again. Start to slide your feet off the mat. Knees pull up and then just tapping toes to floor. Inhale, coming down. Exhale, up. Same action, just a different movement really. We're not going to curl through the abdominals, but we're going to keep the cylinder here and use your core as support for your spine, for your midsection, and so that you don't rock your hips. So inhale, coming with the toes down, exhale. We want to feel a little lightness behind the low back, but we want to feel a heavy sensation somewhat behind the rib cage, down toward the floor. See if you can kind of pull those ribs toward each other, right there where they separate below your sternum. Exhale, and then find the hip points. Feel as though you're pulling your hip points toward each other. Shoulders relax. If you find it difficult to keep your shoulders relaxed, bring your hands and just place them across your forehead. This helps me keep those shoulders relaxed. I don't really tend to shrug whenever the arms are up. I want to keep the ribs down. 2 more. Good. 1 more. And release. Go ahead, take those feet down. If you've got the ball block there, release it. And we'll take the knees side to side. All right, getting warmed up already here. Now from here, let's go ahead. We're going to take left foot to the floor, right leg goes up. Rotate the right knee out, so external rotation on the right thigh. Inhale, crossing over for single leg circle. Exhale, up. So find, again, cylinder action. So everything is solid through the center. Inhale. Your girdle engaged. Exhale. No wobble side to side. Okay, so walk your left foot over to the left side a little to help you stay balanced. And if you're finding that you can go a little further, you can straighten out that left leg. Inhale, cross. Exhale, up without letting your whole body rock. So I'm going to exaggerate for a moment. Rocking side to side. Okay. Now take 1 more this direction. Pause. Now just reverse your circle. Bring it down, cross over the center. If the hamstrings are a bit tight or you find a little less mobility of your hips today, just keep that leg bent, left leg, and keep your right knee a little bent. Just draw a little circle with your toes. Let's take it out for 3, 2, and 1. Draw the right leg in, give it a little squeeze, a nice little hug toward the chest, circle the ankle around, and then bring it back down. Switching sides, so taking the left leg up, right foot down the mat or straightening out depending on your level today, and try to externally rotate that left knee, and inhale, crossing over, exhale around. Inhale and exhale. Deep breath. So prepare as you start the circle. Exhale, bring it back to where you started. Inhale, circle around. Exhale, keep those ribs nice and heavy. You want to feel a lot of action for the stabilization here through the midsection. Last one. Now reverse. Take it down, around, and up. Down, around, and up, as though there's a wall kind of right here at your left shoulder. You're not going too far out to the left. We are crossing the center line, bringing it back up to center. Once again, bend your right knee if hamstrings are a little tight. And bend the leg that you're moving as well. Make adjustments according to how you feel. 1 more. And bring that left knee in. Nicely done. Circle out the ankle a few times. Bringing both knees in toward the chest. Ready for a little single leg stretch. So we'll bring the legs in a little bit more. Start to rise up into a nice little ball here. But I want you to be mindful that you're not lifting your chin and scrunching your neck. If you need to take your head down, keep it down. That is okay. You can do this as well. Okay. Then we can also find that space where we're elevated with the shoulders. So take the right leg in, left leg out. It could go anywhere from the ceiling to almost parallel depending on your level. I'm going to split the difference here. We'll take a little pulse. 1, 2, switch. 1, 2. Now that pulse is not your head, it's not your shoulders. So you don't have to worry about kind of swapping sides, going side to side with your body. There's not a lot of jutting out through the head. We're just staying steady. Inhale, exhale. Really reach out through the leg that you're sending out straight. Try to keep your feet floating about the same level as your knee when you bring it in. We'll take 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Take a little quick break, resting for a moment. Turn your head side to side. No tension through the shoulders or the neck. If your head needs to stay down, continue with it down. Okay, we're gonna go into those a little bit quicker this time. So we're gonna float back up or stay to the floor, making sure that you're in the cervical nod. Your ears are in line with your shoulders, just like you're kind of nodding your head yes, and you're in the down sweep of that nod. Let your head just rest back slightly. Let's take that leg out. Doesn't matter which one, just take one leg out. Inhale. Switch every time. Exhale for 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep breathing. 5, 2, 1, and bring it in. Very nice. Rest for a moment. Turn the head again, side to side. We're going to take the hands, reach them right over the shins. I want you to float your feet a bit. So it's not just slack down here. We're going to float those feet. Pull in, almost like you're trying to reverse curl crunch. So let's do that a couple of times, actually. So just let your hands rest across your forehead. This will eliminate you shrugging your shoulders, ideally. Okay, so take the hands, just place one hand on top of the other. We're going to place them right across the forehead. Pull the rib cage down. Really engage here first. Now, inhale. With your exhale, try to lift your tail away from the floor. Knees toward chest, and then bring it back down. Okay, exhale, let those elbows open wide. Ribs stay in. Curl hips toward ribs. Try that again. Pubic bone toward sternum. So many different ways we can say it, but it doesn't matter how we say it as long as you feel it. Okay, so bring it up. Curl. And reverse. So we're still using transverse abdominals, but it's just the lower part of the transverse and the rectus abdominis, the muscles that run down the front of the body. Okay, so 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Now take a little pause. You can drop your feet before we go on to the next move. Arms down by your sides, just a little break in bridge. Lifting up, just holding here for a moment. Take a few deep breaths. Get a stretch on the front body. Get those hip flexors just nice and long so that they're not staying flexed the whole time. All right, so bring it back down. Everything, again, moving as a unit. And we will start with that little ball position. So double leg stretch. Lift the feet, shoulders relax. You can float your head or not. I'll progress up to it so you can follow me. We'll inhale, reach arms and legs away from body. It can go again anywhere from almost to the ceiling to almost to the floor. Your choice. Sweep it around. Inhale, reach. Full body extension. Exhale, bring it in. Now we can add that little lift of your shoulders. Inhale, reach. Ribs are in. Exhale, scoop. Inhale, reach, exhale. Just 4 more. Reach it out. Bring it in. 3, 2. As the legs go out, try to pull in and toward center with your abdominals and all the way around the waist. Okay, give me that last one. Maybe it's a bonus. Bring it in and rest your head back. Good job. All right, so staying here, let's just rock those knees, a little precursor to where we're going. We're going to be doing our reclining twist here. So you could stay with just knees together or take an item that you can place between the thighs. If the knees tend to pop apart, give them something to squeeze into. This can be very helpful. Okay, so arms are out, just about a little lower than your shoulders. Let them just kind of stay relaxed here, palms up. Deep breath, and we'll start to rotate over to one side. Pause, bring those knees together or squeeze something between, and back to center. Inhale over, exhale. Maintain that action through center. Inhale over, exhale up. Good job. Continue to float your feet. So once again, try not to just let your feet be slack here. It's not going to necessarily hurt anything, but I want to start adding a little more lever there that you're having to move across from side to side. So Find the right appropriate level of lever for yourself by floating the feet up a bit away from your glutes, and then maybe taking one leg at a time and over to the opposite side. Keeping those thighs pulled together. Inhale. Exhale, back to center. Rotate. Shoulders are pretty heavy here, just resting toward the mat. Your rotation is from the waist. Last 4. You could even do both legs a little bit higher. 3. Only go to the level that's appropriate for you today, and today may be different than yesterday. 1 more. Back to center. Bring the feet down. Let's stretch it out. Full body stretch. Oh, just let everything release like a big morning stretch. And now just come back to center. All right, so we're going to pull the ribs down again. Here we are. Take a blocker ball. We're going to hold it between the hands this time. I want you to reach out through the legs. Inner leg line is very long, so press through the inner thighs and then push all the way down like you're finding a zipper, and you're zipping it up from your inner thighs down to your feet. And then in the opposite direction, that zipper moves from your pubic bone up towards your sternum. Okay, so we've got everything kind of connected, moving in opposite directions with energy. We'll inhale, reach the ball toward the sky. Exhale, start to pull your shoulders off the mat, reach towards your feet. Blow it out, take a breath. Squeeze those inner thighs. Exhale, bring it down. Notice I didn't come up very far, but I still had a lot of action happening here. All right, inhale. Energetically moving from inner thighs to heels and from pubic bone to sternum. Reach, inhale, relax the shoulders. Exhale, bring it down. Now, as you progress, you may start to rise up higher, but it's not necessary to get the action. So only roll up if you can do so with a slow, controlled movement. Reach. Otherwise, you're staying with the same action we just started with. Okay, so still 2 rounds of breath. It's still engagement. Inhale. Exhale, reach. If you're rising just part way, go ahead and take a breath in. And then take a breath when you get to the top if you're coming all the way up. Exhale, roll it back down, slow and controlled. Notice there's no jerking, no momentum. I'm not pushing my elbows down into the floor to get myself up because it will do no good for my core. All right, that won't help your core. That's just, getting up. So I want you to strengthen your core here. Inhale. Exhale, rising partly or all the way up. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, slow, roll it down. All right, I want you to take 2 more here with me. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Inhale. Exhale, down. Legs are long, they're heavy, and your thighs are pressing together or toward each other. You can even rotate your toes out. Exhale. Reach, inhale, and exhale, bring it back down. Very good. All right, so taking feet back to the floor. We're just gonna roll over to one side. And so as you roll to that side, if you need a blanket or cushion under your hip, go ahead and take it for your own comfort so you can focus more on the work than on something that's not comfortable underneath you. So bring the legs forward just a bit. We're going to start a little action here by bringing that knee up. Toes will stay together and bring it down. So knees have pulled out close to the edge of the mat. The feet can be back a little further toward the middle of the mat. We're just going to open and close without rocking the hips back. So you want to be mindful you're not rocking all the way back here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Good. Now take it up. Hold, bring the foot up, bring it down, and close. So we open, lift, down, and close. We've got external, internal, external, and center. Or a little more internal. Okay, so here we go. Continue. Knee, foot, down, down. Goes up, up, down, down. 2 more. Up, up, down, down, and 1. Deep breath. Now bring it up and hold. We're just going to kick it from here. So float that, so you come up, hold it just to where you can open with the foot together, okay, or the feet together. And we're gonna just lift the foot now the same level as the knee. That should give you the most appropriate level for you. So it's pretty level with your hip at that point. Okay, we're just gonna kick it out and bring it in. So kick it out, bring the foot in. So straighten, kick, bring it in, and just like that. 4. Make sure the top waist is not just lax here. So we've got some action. I need to lengthen that waist. You notice how that moved my hip? Yeah, so I have more action happening here. So we're gonna keep it straight, hold it, and now just drop and lift. Rotate the toes down and lift, down and lift. Now again, this waist, top waist, likes to kind of roll up on me. So I'm gonna continue to move it down, rotating from the thigh here, from the hip. So rotate internally, drop it, bring it up. 3, 2, and 1. Now pause. Take that leg back and bring it forward. Back and forth. Inhale, try to keep it really long without allowing the midsection to relax. You want to make sure you're staying connected. Inhale, exhale, and 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to center. Very nice. You can kind of slap it out a little bit. Give it a little massage there. We're going to lift up and go ahead and bring yourself over to the other side. Okay, so again, knees kind of come out. So if you're about the middle of your mat here, your knees will come out toward the edge or long edge of your mat, and you can bring your feet back so that they're more to the middle as well. So here we go, a little clam, open and close. Open and close. Continue, inhale, exhale. Good. So I want you to keep your weight mostly forward. Your hand is in front of you there for a little support. Try to bring that top waist as long as your bottom waist. So push that hip down just a little bit with your muscles in your waist, side waist engaging. Lift and lower. All right, here we go. We're gonna hold it up. Now we lift, drop, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. You've got it. Keep breathing. You're still engaging through the center. Exhale. With that exhale, you should have a natural engagement of your girdle muscles and even your pelvic floor. If you're taking a good deep breath, the pelvic floor will engage on the exhale. Deep breath with the diaphragm. Exhale. 3 more. Up, up, down, and down. Good. 2. Up, down, down. 1. Up, up, and down. Now take the knee up and hold. Just bring the foot to match it. So it's really nice and level here. You're still rocking us slightly forward. We're just going to kick it and bring it in. Okay, kick it out. It's still level with the hip here, not lower, not higher. Okay, so try to keep it in line. Your foot is in line with your knee and hip. Reach, bring it in. If you're feeling this on the underside, on the hip that you had on top before, appropriate. It was already working, and now this side is this side's doing the movement, but your bottom side is doing the stabilization. So you're gonna find probably a little more burning on this side. Okay, so let's go 2 more. And 1, lengthen out that top waist. Here we go, kick it out. Now drop the toe down and up for 8, 7, 6, 5, I feel it. 4, keep breathing. 3, 2, let's go front to back, hold, sweep it forward, bring it back. Inhale, exhale back. You've got it. Deep breath, long waist, engaging. Last 4, 3, and 2. Good job. Last one. And rest. Okay. Shake it out a little bit. Now, while we're here, we're going to go ahead and go on to that inner thigh from this position, and we'll swap in a moment. So from where you are, just keep your knees kind of pulled up about 90 degrees, about level with your hips. And we're just going to slide the bottom leg down the mat. Okay. That's it. So we just slide it down the mat, move it back a little bit so it's not too far forward. Okay, so it's kind of moving toward the back side, what's now the back side of your mat. The other leg can hang out here. If you have something you want to prop it on, a bolster, blocks, anything like that, you could do that as well. We're going to lift that foot up, or lift the leg up on the bottom side. And now rotate the toes down, push out through your heel. Lift up, lower down, up and down. Good. Try to rotate your knees and your toes toward the floor just a bit, as much as you can. Okay. And watch that top waist. You want it long, moving away from you, so you might even place your hand here on your hip and just kind of drop it down. So you feel a little lighter on the underside of your body. You might find a little more pressure on your bottom hip that way. That's okay. Just find something to give you some comfort there. If it's a pillow or blanket. Right, continue for 4, 3, 2. You're going to hold this one. Hold it. Reach out through the toes. And let's circle little circles for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and reverse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Bring that knee up. We're flipping over to the opposite side. On our way there, let's get a stretch. Reach it out. Oh, feels good. Okay. Now, go on over to the opposite side. Take a moment there. You can even kind of rock around on the hip just to give a little massage. Find what you need. If you need cushion here. Everything is lined up, so you're not ever just looking down at your feet here. Just kind of lined up with head, shoulders, and your hips. Take the top leg, keep it where it is. Bring your bottom leg, straighten it out. And here we go. So we're going to lift it up, lower it down. So I want you to feel like you were squeezing both inner thighs together, not just lifting your bottom leg. So try to feel like you could squeeze both the top and bottom legs together. Okay, not just the movement of the one leg. Inhale, exhale. I'm trying to rotate the toes slightly down, lifting with the inner part of the heel up. Keeping the waist long, so many things, but they all work together. Last 4, 3, 2. Last one. You're going to hold it here. Point through the toes. Let's go. Circles. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 8, 7. Still breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. All right. Push yourself back up. Bend your knees. Then push yourself up to seated. We can do that stretch again on the other side. Awesome work. Okay, come on over. We're going to be in a table position first. I want you just to have your hands right underneath your shoulders, knees close together, and just sway your hips over to one side. Take a look back at your feet. Come back to center. Over to the other side. Let's do that a couple more times. Stretching through the outside of the hip and thigh. Down the side waist. And back to center again. Taking your left leg, reach it back, lifting up. Tap it over to the right, and then bring it back up. Cylinder is still activated, so you've got a nice solid space around the midsection without letting it drop down or sag, so you're really lifted up. We're just tapping over to the right side with the left foot. The leg is long, hips are steady. 3, 2, and last one. Now drop it down this time and slide back. Okay, so I didn't have quite enough room. Slide back. Now we're just folding over the front leg, Resting your head down, getting a little stretch. Not quite a pigeon stretch, but we are getting a good stretch on that outer hip. If for any reason this does not work for you, it's not appropriate for your knee, come to seated, just roll yourself up, bring the leg that was back, and keep it straight, and cross the other leg. Basically the same stretch, different way of doing it. Okay, so you could do that instead in a seated position. I want you to take a couple more rounds of breath where you are. Exhale out through the mouth like a sigh. Let's come back up. Lifting, and then turning the toes under, and coming all the way back into your table position. Right side lifts. Inhale. Tap it over to the left. Bring it up. Tapping. Now trying to do this by keeping everything as steady as possible. Just squeeze the inner thighs. So it's not a big swing of your hips like this. Okay. Just squeeze those inner thighs. Think of keeping both sides of your waist equally as long through this movement. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. And hold it here. Slide back and just fold forward. Same thing here. If you need to come to seated, have a seat. Straighten your right leg in front of you and cross your left leg over. Give it a little hug. Take a couple more breaths. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. All right, coming back up. Slide yourself back up. Let's take the knees nice and wide. Big toes together. Back into a big child's pose. Nice wide knee child's pose. And rest here. Taking one more breath, then walking yourself back up. Bring the hands back towards you. We'll have a seat. Amazing work today. Find a little Z-sit here for our mermaid. So we did a little preview of a mermaid earlier, and you can always go back to that where the knees are closer together, or you can find a wider position if it feels right for you. And we'll bring the arm up, reaching, and then over to the side. Reach it out. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, reaching over. And back to center, over to the side. Last one. Reach it out nice and long. And bring it back to center. Now, finding a space that you can fold forward. If you want to take that back leg or the leg that's bent back and straighten it out, you'll get a little more stretch through the inner thigh and the hamstring. Maybe you do it both ways, a little bit for each position. Getting the hips and both the inner thigh and outer thigh. Come back up. So we switch sides. Rocking, leaning, and reaching over. Get really tall, reach it over to the other side, give it a twist, all the way up. Exhale. Good, very nice. Let's take it last time here. And come up, finding your forward fold. So you could find it here. It might not be very far forward, that's okay. It could be on blocks or other items that you could prop yourself up on. If that's not feeling quite right for you, straighten that leg out. And let's do that anyway so you can get the inner thigh. We worked it as well. All right, coming back up. Just finding seated, whatever variation of seated feels good for you. Let's take a little seated twist. So we're going to turn to one side first. Keeping your hips level. Rotating from the waist and through the mid-spine. Other side, and back to center. Sweep the arms up, big deep breath in. Exhale, hands come right down to your Pilates Rockstar Center. So give yourself a moment of thanks for showing up for yourself. And as I always like to say, show up for yourself so you can show up for others. Because it's really true. You can't give if you aren't receiving.